Hi! Today we're traveling to Ireland, the land of the Banshee, land of the upper leprechauns, land of the 40 shades of green. Alright, so let's begin. The capital of Ireland is Dublin, which is on the east coast, over here of Ireland. In the population, Ireland in 2019 was 1.388 million people. Can you imagine all those people living? I can't. Alright. Things to do in Dublin. There's what you call a bar crawl, and that's what what it sounds like. You go through all the bars in Dublin. Beer drinker. Oh, and then my favorite thing is to go visit the Trinity College, which is way famous. And in Trinity College Library, they have the Book of Kells, which is a huge, fantastic book. The Book of Kells is an illuminated manuscript. It was made by monks from St. Kells Monastery, and it's fantastic. The pages just glow. It's fantastic, and it includes 4 testaments of the Bible. And I wish I had pictures to show you, but it's fantastic. And the manuscript is in Latin. The illuminators were basically monks, were the people who would do the books, translate books. Illuminators are another word for writers. They took, books and did books, and that's how the books started, visited by the monks. Alright. Geography of Ireland. Ireland is 27,000 square miles. That includes Northern Ireland to the tip right here, 27,000 square miles. Ireland has 32 counties. Hope I did my math right here. So 6 counties are in Northern Ireland. Let me explain. So Ireland is set up with two different parts. There's Republic of Ireland and then Northern Ireland. And the reason that is because it's Catholic and Protestant and they don't get along. That's why it was separated at one point. So there's 6 counties here, and 16 counties in the Republic of Ireland. And each county has a particular thing associated with it. It might be music, might be in Waterford, County Waterford, there's the Crystal, and then of course there is the Whiskey Jameson's Distillery and Guinness Distillery, Guinness Stout. And I want to shout out to Wayne, Betty H, and Nancy Asford. I know they always enjoy my presentation, so hope you're watching. Let's talk about the weather. It is mostly like here in Oregon. It rains, they get snow, but not often. So the coldest months are January and February, and that the degrees are averages between 39 and 41 degrees. Summertime, can you believe this? In summertime, it's between 59 degrees and 64 degrees. Well, that's what we've been having, the past couple days of June and May, but that's in my book, that's cold. So, but the hottest months are July and August, and they average about 60 degrees. So that's the hottest months in Ireland. And on a hot summer's day, they call it the scorcher. And that averages between 71 degrees and 73. When I was in Ireland in 97, and we were in Londonderry, the Republic of Ireland, and had a relatively warm day. And my guess was about 75 degrees, and the Irish people were like, this is hot, 75, this is a scorcher. So let's move on and talk about two saints, St. Patrick and St. Brigid. St. Patrick, as you know, is the patron saint of Ireland, which is funny because he wasn't Irish, he was English. He was British. And of course, his feast day is March 17th. Everybody knows that we all wear green. We're going to get pinched by the little people. So his story is that he got kidnapped by Irish raiders and sold into slavery. And he was a slave for a couple of years in Ireland. Then he escaped, went back to Britain, and then one night he had a dream that he was supposed to become a missionary in Ireland. So he followed what I consider his calling, and became a missionary in Ireland. And that was about 432 AD, all this was happening. So way back in that history. And there is a mountain dedicated to him called Croagh Patrick. It's in County Mayo, which I visited. Fantastic. And it's supposed to be, I'm saying it's supposed to be, but it's the mountain that he scared the snakes off of. One of the myths of St. Patrick is that he scared the snakes, took the snakes away from, scared the snakes away from Ireland, which is the myth, because there are no snakes in Ireland to begin with, but anyhow, that's beside the point. So going back to Croagh Patrick, this mountain is 765 meters. I don't know what's the equivalent to meters and feet. And on the last Sunday of July, the people of Ireland go on a pilgrimages on this mountain, and they do it barefoot. I'll show you a picture later at the end of my presentation, but I got a picture of a statue at the base of the mountain. That's how they, first station, second station, third stations, which is, when you do a pilgrimage, it's, you pray on these different stations, and so yeah, Croagh Patrick. And St. Patrick as well. Now I'm going to talk about the second saint, St. Brigid. Her feast day is February 1st. And in Ireland that's considered first day of spring, which is early spring, February 1st. And I have a picture of her and her St. Brigid's cross right here. I'll talk about the cross a little bit later. Alright, so she essentially was a goddess and she protected animals. That was when she first was, Then they decided to don't even protect cattle and sheep, animals, just like St. Francis that way. And, alright. The basic thing people do on her feast day is cook, right? You make kokanen, you make a bread called spotted dog, which is basically our soda bread. And I looked at the recipe, and it's basically soda bread. And then, most important thing is you make St. Brigid crosses, which I just showed you a picture of, out of brushes. And they're usually hung in the kitchen. That is because her miracles were associated with household tasks or tasks related to women. That's why it's placed in the kitchen. Alright, St. Brigid and St. Patrick. There are a lot of troubles or, tragedies that happened in Ireland. One of which was a great potato famine. And I have, speaking of potatoes, I have potatoes from Grace Sanders' garden right here. They look like, I think they might be purple potatoes. There you go. So even our garden is producing potatoes. So I'm going to talk about the Great Potato Famine. Take a break here. There we go. Great Potato Famine. 17th century. Back in the 17th century in Ireland, they decided, the peasants and the people around decided to plant potatoes. Because it was not labor intensive and you could a good yield of crop. But because they did that, in 1845, the potatoes became rotten by a potato blight. And that caused a lot of problems. Because the majority of people in Ireland depended on potatoes to eat and to sell. More than 1 million people died during this famine due to starvation and malnutrition. And then 2.5 billion people, million people decided to immigrate to places like Boston and New York City, to America. And that, they were immigrating anyhow, because of the jobs, or they were being prosecuted. But that was one of the big excesses of people to different countries. America was the biggest place they went to, and then Canada, and then Australia as well. But the percentages weren't that big. Alright. We did the natural, we did geography, we've done the saints. Now let's move on to the supernatural. The Banshee is a female spirit that is associated with death. Now all the movies I've ever seen that has a Banshee in it, she's considered like a mean, forbidding character. And according to my research, she's not supposed to be like that. She's supposed to be warning. She is the Banshee Will. If you were Banshee on it, she wills and keens. And she's doing that out of respect and love for your loved one, but that's not what she's a warning of impending death. But I don't know. And then the descriptions that she has, she's a ghostly figure haggard features. So I don't know how that, I don't understand why that's supposed to be portrayed as a, she's not a good spirit, but she's not bad either. She is the Banshee. And of course, everybody knows about the shamrock. Not supernatural, but there's a young clover, favorite clover, and why it's associated with Ireland is because at one point St. Patrick described the Trinity, the Father, Holy Ghost, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and that's how you describe the shamrock. That's basically, they see things in Ireland are shamrock, a harp. Alright. And going on to my favorite subject is you can't talk about Ireland without talking about the music. So, there's been a lot of debate on what the traditional instruments are, but I think everybody's decided that the traditional pipes, like bagpipes, tin whistles, flute, and of course the all famous fiddle, which is, there's no difference between the classical violin and the fiddle, because it's how it's played and how the strings are rung on the instrument. But because of people saying, it's not the same as a violin, it is. It's called a fiddle. And in certain counties, the instruments are associated with these certain counties, like in County Clare, the free reed instruments like the flute, or flute is Sligo and Roscommon. So and then, so I've heard that there's fiddlers coming out of County Clare are famous for fiddlers. Always been told that. Alright, so traditional pipes, tin whistles, flute, and fiddle. Traditional instruments. And of course we have one traditional as well, drum, bodhran, which we have here in our classical instrument collection here at Grace Center. I want to talk about the harp, which is not a traditional instrument, but it is the national emblem of Ireland. You see it on the coins, you see it in the Guinness, if you enjoy a little stout, you're familiar with the Guinness beer. There's it on the label, on the bottle of the label. And then my favorite beer is Harp, which is really good beer. Anyhow, I do this. Okay, so traditional tunes are not written down. The way you musicians learn them is by listening and memorizing them, learning how to play from other musicians. And the tune can be changed. Maybe a different title, depending on how the musician learned it. But this is a subject that really, I've listened to a lot of Irish music, been to a lot of Irish concerts, and that's always amazes me when I see, especially in the non-traditional setting, like this, not a concert, where just people that come and play with each other, and they know certain tunes, and someone will start on the fiddle, and someone else will take it up with the guitar, or someone else will do it on the fiddle. This goes around in circles. That's amazing to me, how they can do that. Alright. And along with this music, I know you're gonna sound like this is silly, but like I mentioned before, that's how musicians learn how to do music is through a session. It's usually in bars, not a concert. It says, in the corner of the bar. You get people started with, someone starting the fiddle, and then you got the guitar, and it's, the jam session basically. impromptu jam session, and like I said, it's not, you can be roaming around having drinks with your friends and just listening to music. That's called crack. Having a good time. So sessions and crack go together. I've done a lot of sessions and done a lot of crack, and it's all fun. Alright, let me show you some pictures out of my book here. One of which is a picture of instruments out of a music shop here. Find the page. Here you go. You can see the guitar, bottom end, harp, the harp right there. And then I wanted to show you a picture of Crow Patrick as well, as what I was talking about. The Famine Bridge. That's a hard word to say. Okay, so here are some people. Well, they're not barefoot, but the nun might be barefoot. Right there, doing there. I'm going to say Patrick. Alright. Now I'd like to end my presentation with famous, the Irish people have proverbs and sayings, right? So I've got my list of stuff in here. I want to pass on to you. There's no fireplace like your own fireplace. Speaking of fireplaces, that's a side note. Irish people do not, they burn wood, but not as often as what they call peat or turf. So they have turf box, and they have a handle. There's like a piece of equipment that has a handle on it and a blade, but the blade is shaped like a piece of metal here and here, and you push it down, comes out to be a brick, but so big. And they draw these bricks, and then they use them as turf for fire. And the smell is pretty, I don't know how to describe the smell, but it's acrid and it's not smoky, but it's there. A lot of people use that. Anyhow, okay, so another one that I thought would be a funny one is that, I'll find it here. Here it is. It's often a person's mouth that breaks his nose. That was a good one. And the last one here. 3 sharpers' eyes are a blacksmith on a nail, a priest on his parish, and a young girl on a boy. So hope you enjoyed my talk, and last but not least, I wanted some famous Irish people you might know. Bono of U2, the singing group. Liam Neeson, actor, right? Anya, who is a singer. Oscar Wilde, who is a famous writer, poet. And then another poet and writer, W.B. Yeats, Eastern County Sligo. Alright, well thank you for joining me. And I'm just going to have a cup of tea with my lunch today, so brought my teapot with me. Alright, thank you for joining me. See you next time. Take care.